People don't usually believe me when I tell them what I do for a living. I've performed with a lot of different shows, some big and some small. The biggest one is Cirque du Soleil. I've worked, though, I would say, with about 30 different companies in the past 10 years or so. I started circus about 11 years ago. I have studied circus in lots of different places. You can't really perform full-time unless you're on tour, even if you have I've had a lot of regular performing gigs at nightclubs and such, but it's generally once a week. And unless they're paying you a couple grand for that one night, which these days is not happening, you can't rely on that as income, and teaching is the most consistent and the easiest way for most aerialists to make some extra cash. I started teaching mostly to make ends meet. If you're teaching, you don't have to pay for training space. A lot of schools will make you pay 10 bucks an hour to come in and train. And I would train about 30 hours a week. I started to teach not too long after I started to learn all this stuff, actually. I've always had really good body awareness, and I taught swimming and dance for many years. So explaining things has never been too difficult for me. Classes here are an hour and 15 minutes. The first 10 to 15 minutes is a warm-up. Usually all the classes that are happening in the space will warm up together, which is nice because you get to meet people at other levels, and sometimes there's 3 classes. We kind of split our time on the apparatus, so we'll do trapeze, we'll do rope, we'll do silks. We won't do all 3 of those every week, but we'll spend a good chunk on each of those throughout the session. I've had a lot of really good experiences teaching here and other places. The students that we have here are awesome, honestly. They're just amazing people. I have 2 favorite classes. I like teaching beginners because I can kind of mold them. Every teacher who teaches beginners has their own way of doing things, and I have a very specific way, as does anybody else, no matter what you're teaching. So I like to kind of have people that have no prior knowledge, and I like to get them really excited about it and really passionate about it, and realize that it is hard work for sure, but it's also really rewarding, and it's not as scary as they think it is, or it's not as painful as they think it is. I like to sort of reshape people's preconceived notions about stuff and be encouraging. Don't worry, but take your left leg. I also really like teaching super advanced people. I like having them kind of be my guinea pigs in terms of different sequences, or again, really flexible people, seeing what sort of crazy position they can twist themselves into. With beginners, you are just up on the equipment half of the class, demonstrating things and spotting. So it's nice too in the more advanced classes that I can just rattle off 5 tricks and they can just go up and do it. Everyone has their own way of spotting people. Some people have a lot of a lighter touch. Some people don't want to spot at all. Some people are like, I will lift you up and put you on my shoulders. It sort of depends. If the person is aware enough of what's going on that I don't think that they're going to be a safety hazard towards me, I will just pick them up and just kind of do this and help them get adjusted. I also sometimes accidentally will grab boobs and butts. I have grabbed many a boob in my day just kind of doing this, and I'm like, oh, students don't generally notice. They're just thankful that they didn't fall on their face. Generally for spotting, it's a lot more like encouragement in some ways. Now take me to a bird. Yeah, look at that. I kind of just go and like I'll just sort of touch them and take off like 2 pounds of pressure, and then all of a sudden they can do it. So that does happen a lot. Performing in a circus is a lot of work, but it's also very rewarding. Having a full audience is awesome. It's a community. It's just a huge family. My name's Kendra, and I am a professional aerialist, and I love it.